There's no doubt that electric cars, electric vehicles are going to be a thing of the future, whether we love it or hate it. Right now it's still early days, and if you're looking to cash in long term on this industry, then now's the time to invest. If you've already missed the massive bull run that Tesla's already had, or you just know that they won't be able to hold all that market share forever, then you'd be right. Same thing happened with the Ford company, Henry Ford. Henry Ford was the first to innovate the production line, but as soon as all these other competitors jumped on it, he lost quite a lot of market share, and obviously the same thing's going to happen one day with Tesla. So let's look at some alternatives. The first one is the Gac Automobile Group, otherwise known as GAC Group Motors. Now this is its very nice looking, if you ask me, SUV. They call it the Aeon V6C SUV, and it has a range of around 600 miles, and in just 8 minutes flat they're claiming it can restore 80% of the battery pack's energy, and they're also claiming the battery life will last the car around 600,000 miles. So they're basically saying the battery will last it for life. Now the reason they're able to do this is they're swapping out the graphite in the lithium ion battery for graphene. Now the reason they're doing this is because graphene is just a layer of graphite, and it's just one atom thick, and what that means is compared to graphite, it allows a greater surface area for the battery to take charge, to hold the charge for. Graphene batteries of the past have always seemed to fall short upon testing, but GAC here reckon that they've solved that problem, which is why they're getting the numbers they are. Now the GAC stock price has been fairly level for quite some time, but as you can see, its highest point almost 15 Hong Kong dollars, and now it's just over 7 Hong Kong dollars, so it's been fairly level for a while. Worth looking at, guys, particularly with this new news of the the new SUV they brought out. One thing I'll say as well, don't be afraid just because it's Chinese. Think the Chinese market is huge, and who knows, with production and the problems which the West are having right now, we might all be driving Chinese cars. We know we've adopted a few other Chinese policies recently, so nothing's off the table. And the next one is Quantumscape. Now Volkswagen has recently partnered with Quantumscape, and they also sunk $300 million into it. And the reason being is because they're producing the most recent type of battery, a solid state battery. Now I'm not going to go into the technical stuff of how the battery works, but I will leave a link in the description below so you can check it out for yourself. Now if you look at Quantumscape's stock price, ticker symbol QS, you can see in December 2020 here, that's when they had their investment, all that capital went in, the stock price rallied right up to $114 US, and right now it's only $27 for this stock. And it's definitely worth looking at for a speculation, guys, if you're bullish on electric vehicles. Like I say, Volkswagen has stood behind it, so if they do have success with a battery, it's going to be going in to all Volkswagens, and obviously Volkswagen own BMW, Skoda, and probably a number of others as well that I'm not aware of. So definitely worth looking at, guys. Before we move on to the third investment, I'll just mention a couple of others that may be worth looking at. Cobalt miners, lithium miners, even though lithium has exploded in price recently, but will it go higher? Who knows? It will do in time, I've no doubt, but right now it just seems to me so overpriced. And if you invested in lithium this time last year or even earlier, then you definitely get the hat tip from me, because they've exploded in price recently. But yeah, still worth looking at. Cobalt as well, as I just mentioned, and copper as well, because obviously a lot of copper will be getting used in these electric vehicles. For the motors, they reckon that there's over 1 billion cars on the planet right now. Imagine if all those got replaced with electric vehicles. That's a lot of copper. So, and we know copper's high in price right now, but if that was to happen over time, then there's no doubt it'll go higher. Now, on to number 3. One of my favourite investments of all time, silver. Yep, that's right, and I'm talking about the physical stuff, not the ETFs, no SLV over here, just physical. The reason being why you want physical is if you get an ETF, those ETFs, even though they reflect the spot price, during extreme conditions of the market, if it's silver exploded up in price, they do actually have some kind of legal. They say that the ETF prices are backed by a representation of the silver spot price, and also in extreme market conditions they can actually deviate away from that. They can actually deviate away from the spot price. So if you've bought in a SLV for, I don't know, $25, if it explodes up to $100, let's say, they don't actually have to give you that $100. This has been exposed a number of times, which is why you want physical. Now, I'm all about investing into anything that's undervalued. If something's exploding up in price and everyone's jumping on it, that's not what you want to do. You want to avoid anything like that. You need to get in when something is undervalued, not when it's overvalued or already exploded in price and everyone's talking about it. And silver right now is 80% down from its all-time high, inflation adjusted. Now, granted, back here we did have the silver squeeze by the Hunt brothers, but we've never been at a time in history where silver's going to be more in demand because of electric vehicles and from solar panels. A lot of silver gets used in solar panels. We know all the Western world, a lot of the world wants to go, emission free, and that's a lot of silver that's going to have to be mined if you want to have that many solar panels in the world. It's also used in medical bandages and a lot of other medical things, as well as cleaning products and nuclear energy as well. But there's actually going to be a push to open up quite a few more over the world, because apparently, I didn't know this, nuclear energy is actually carbon neutral, which is something that is quite surprising. At least it was to me. Anyway, those are your 3 alternatives. They're all undervalued right now, and remember, Tesla won't have the market share forever. Even when they do, the competition's fierce, especially in an industry as big as the car manufacturing one. But that can be why it's worth, not just with silver, but looking at the minerals, looking at commodities, because no matter who wins that race, they're all going to need the same thing. Good luck investing, guys, and remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Check out all your own investments. Decisions you decide to make are yours and yours alone. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you've got your eye on anything else in the electric vehicle movement that I've missed off here. I'd be interested to have a look, and maybe I'll do a video of 5 alternatives. There is quite a few alternatives out there in the electric vehicle movement. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again.